Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel General Hospital Official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In defense of Willow and Drew from General Hospital, they disgust me. However, credit where it's due, a General Hospital fan on Reddit has just precisely captured Willow and Drew's attraction/revulsion. They disgust me, Isaid Wadasadek quickly noted. However, the poster hoped against hope that the pair would not be dismissed, not because their lust tale is so appealing, but because of the enormous damage it causes. This show can feel a little too Hallmark at times, everyone loves each other and gives fantastic advice, and so on. But what about the mess? Bring it on. 100% accurate. When Willow and Drew first entered a room, the other characters' reactions were, at best, tepid. It was hardly a thing, much less a capital T thing. These days, however, blood pressure rises whenever either of their names is spoken. It's the kind of drama that we savor with a spoon before returning for seconds. As coffee_ist_gut put it, two characters who are as bland as unseasoned cream of wheat are suddenly my favorite part of the show. And not because any of us root for them, but because the fury that they elicit in erstwhile friends and family is so delectable. A year ago, Carly wouldn't shut up about how brave and amazing Drew was, Isaid Wadasadek exclaimed, and now she despises him. That's fun! Cancer survivor and new mother had people go to the other side of the world to save her, and now half the community can't bear the sight of her. It's glorious. If the objective is to turn Willow and Drew into local pariahs, viewers are on board, and ready with pitchforks and torches. However, stated weak_hovercraft1, if the plan is to transition them to some love super couple, the writers have miscalculated how much these two are despised. The only thing more interesting than seeing everyone in Port Charles detest Willow and Drew is watching them turn on each other when their affair goes wrong, because it has to, right? They're not the show's next Edward and Lila. What are your thoughts? Even if you loathe the Willow/Drew relationship, are you enjoying the consequences of their union? General Hospital week of January 20th, Michael's sad goodbye, Willow's big decision, and Sunny's medical drama. General Hospital spoilers for the week of January 20th to 24th hint that Willow Corinthos will face a difficult decision. Drew Quartermaine appears to be considering going to Washington full-time with Scout Quartermaine, so he may try to persuade Willow to join him. Drew may be sure that Willow can resolve the custody situation and regain complete control of the children. As a result, Drew may persuade Willow to relocate Wiley and Amelia Corinthos to DC so that they can all be one family. While Willow struggles with a difficult decision, Tracy Quartermaine will face significant reaction. Martin Gray may seek legal retaliation since Tracy prevented Wiley and Amelia from leaving the Quartermaine estate. Brooklyn Quartermaine and Lulu Spencer will let their tempers flare. According to our forecasts, Harrison Chase and Dante Falconeri would eventually become involved in the battle. As for Ava Jerome, it appears that she will devise a strategy to address her financial issues, and Rick Lansing may assist her along the road. Speaking of money, Cody Bell's return to gambling could lead to more Selena Wu trouble. However, GH spoilers for 2025 indicate that Cody's risks may be financially profitable, so his new bowl game bet may pay out in the end. We should also discuss Sunny Corinthos' cardiac troubles, as they are set to worsen. Sunny may become a hospital patient before long, providing Cyrus Renaud with another opportunity to attack. Nonetheless, doubts are mounting about Cyrus and the digitalis overdoses he has been delivering. Given the circumstances, it would not be shocking if Sunny assisted Isaiah Gannon in setting up a trap to capture Cyrus in the act. Next, Michael Corinthos' leave is approaching. Will he go to the same clinic that treated Ava for her burn scarring? Jason Morgan indicated that they could also aid Michael, so we'll see if that's where he ends up recovering after his sorrowful goodbye. According to General Hospital spoilers, the week of January 20th to 24th will be filled with difficult moments and key turning points, so keep an eye out for any startling news. GH spoilers for Thursday, January 16th, sweet surprises, shocking clashes, and secret pain. General Hospital spoilers and updates for Thursday, January 16th include lovely surprises, surprising fights, and hidden agony. Kai Taylor receives a pleasant surprise, Willow Corinthos has a stunning clash, and Cody Bell hides a secret anguish. General Hospital spoilers, lovely surprises at the hospital. Stella Henry has a lovely gift for Kai, who was clearly injured when tackled during the football game. Stella taunts him by asking if he wants a specific sender, while holding balloons behind her and a cuddly animal. Stella can tell Kai is excited about a gift from Trina Robinson because he smiles warmly. Trina's worry while watching the game at the Brown Dog Bar indicated that she had grown very devoted to Kai. And, judging by his smile and Christmas tree-like reaction to Stella's query, the feeling is mutual. GH spoilers, shocking clashes. Nina is clearly taken aback and horrified by her daughter's outburst as she attempts to plead with Willow to allow Michael Corinthos' family to visit him. Willow yells at her mother, "You want me to bow down to Carly Spencer and Sonny Corinthos?" It's almost as if Nina is watching a case of Did and Willow is displaying an altar. She's never seen her like this before. And she understands that all of this stems from Drew Quartermain's overwhelming control over Willow. It's as if she can no longer think for herself. General Hospital spoilers, secret pain. Gio Palmieri couldn't help but watch Cody leave the Brown Dog Bar abruptly after Sasha Corbin arrived. He was great and enjoying the game until he noticed her standing next to him, cheering the team on. Gio has now traced Cody down to the Quartermain stables, where he is sitting alone nursing what appears to be whiskey in a thermos, potentially concealing secret agony. Gio doesn't know the whole story, but he knows Cody and Sasha split up and may have observed they were once dating. Cody went to the Brown Dog Bar to get drunk the night Sasha told him they had to end their relationship since they were first cousins. GH spoilers, Brooke Lynn is less than optimistic. It appears Brooke Lynn Chase and Harrison Chase are on GH, as she tells her husband that she wishes she had a fraction of his optimism. They've been trying to conceive for a long time but haven't been successful. They may be going to see a fertility doctor. Perhaps they're trying to implant an embryo in Brooke Lynn's uterus and praying the specialist doesn't uncover anything wrong. Perhaps they are both getting tested to determine if one of them has a reproductive issue and are awaiting the findings. Tracy tears into Carly. Meanwhile, back at the Quartermain house, Carly is attempting to reunite her grandchildren with Willow in order for Willow to allow Michael's family to visit him. Cyrus refused to budge for Sonny and Jason Quartermain, and Jason caved. He couldn't bear taking them away from Monica Quartermain. Tracy is now berating Carly for her previous disagreements with Monica, despite the fact that Monica and Tracy had many of their own. Tracy yells at Carly, who is on the edge of tears, "That woman's life was never the same since you stepped foot in this town." That was then, and this is now. Michael is Tracy's great-nephew, and A.J. Quartermain was his birth father. The air in Port Charles was thicker than normal, as if the combined weight of secrets and decisions pressed down on its residents. At every stage, decisions loomed, some difficult, some desperate, but none without consequences. The week would see friendships formed via compromise, relationships challenged through confrontation, and moments of quiet introspection within the tempest. Contentious compromises and life-saving measures. In the Corinthos penthouse, Sonny sat across from Nina, their tension crackling like static electricity. Nina's voice was caustic, but her comments included a kernel of knowledge. "You're wasting time, Sonny," she said, her piercing eyes never leaving his. "This custody struggle will drain you, and what will you get out of it? Anger? Bitterness? Do you believe that is what Michael would want?" Sonny's jaws constricted. Michael would want his kids to be safe. "And they are," Nina responded. "You need to focus on Michael's recovery, not on tearing Willow apart." Meanwhile, at the hospital, Isaiah Gannon and Lucas Jones watched over Michael's bed. The machines beeped continuously, but his condition remained perilous. Isaiah's voice sounded calm yet urgent. "We need to consider all options," he told me. "There's a new treatment protocol that could stabilize him, but it's risky." Lucas nodded grudgingly. "Do it. Michael's children need their father." Trina Robinson and Kai Taylor had a rare moment of levity at the Aurora Wellness Center. Trina had just finished a tough yoga session, and Kai's easy smile soothed her strained emotions. "You survived," he joked. "Barely," Trina said, but her laughter was real. It felt good to forget her problems, even if only for a moment. Back at the Corinthos estate, Carly Spencer was not in the mood for chit-chat. She confronted Willow in the kitchen, her tone harsh. "Don't think for a second that you can keep us away from Michael's children," Carly said him. You may have the legal right, but this family doesn't give up that easily. Willow's hands trembled as she held her mug of tea. She was torn between her love for Michael and her need to assert her independence, and she felt the consequences of every action she took. New intel and unexpected requests. Lucky Spencer reclined back in his chair at Kelly's diner, a wicked grin spreading across his lips. Lulu Spencer, sitting across from him, leaned in, anxious for answers. "What did you find out?" she asked. "There's a connection between Magnus' offshore accounts and the Prague safe house, Lucky told us. It's thin, but it's something." Lulu's thoughts raced. If she could use this material to show Magnus was unfit, she might finally be able to bring Charlotte home. Later that day, Lulu approached Tracy Quartermain in the mansion. Tracy looked up from her tablet, her face dubious. "What do you want, Lulu?" Tracy asked. "A favor," Lulu acknowledged. "I need your help." Tracy lifted her eyebrow. "Now I'm intrigued. What kind of assistance?" Meanwhile, at Sonny's office, Dante Falconeri recalled the explosion that nearly killed Michael. Sonny listened carefully, his face a mask of control. "We'll find out who's responsible," Sonny assured. Across town, Jason Morgan met Carly in the Metro Court's back room. His voice was low and secretive. "I have an idea," he explained. "But you're not going to like it." Nina Reeves stormed into the Quartermain mansion's living room, her rage boiling. "Drew, do you have any idea what a mess you've made?" she demanded. Drew stayed calm, but the tension in his jaw was evident. "I'm doing what's best for everyone," Drew said. "For everyone?" Nina snapped. "Or only for you?" Quarrelsome questions and hidden truths. Anna Devane sat across from a suspect in the WSB headquarters, her tone cold and commanding. The man shuffled uneasily beneath her gaze. "Do you think you can lie to me?" Anna inquired, her voice like steel. "I've done this for a long time. Tell me all I need to know." Meanwhile, Carly met with Jack Brennan at Metro Court. Her grin was friendly, but her eyes revealed her genuine intentions. "I just need a little information," Carly said. "Nothing too invasive." Jack hesitated. "So why should I help you?" Tracy approached Jason in the Quartermain mansion, her tone surprisingly vulnerable. "I need your help," she said. "This family is falling apart." Jason shakes his head. "I don't get involved in Quartermain drama." Drew also faced up with Alexis Davis. Her voice was keen and her sentences exact. "You're shutting me out," Alexis said. "Why?" "Because it's none of your business," Drew responded. Trina eventually met Emma Scorpio-Drake somewhere else in town. The two young women linked swiftly, their similar history resulting in an instant relationship. Thursday, January 16th, Confidences and Clashes. Nina sat across from Ava Jerome at the art museum, her frustration palpable. "I don't know what to do," Nina acknowledged. "Every choice feels wrong." Ava sat back in her chair with a knowing smile on her lips. "When in doubt, follow your instincts." Meanwhile, Dante and Cody Bell reminisced over beers at the Floating Rib. "Do you remember that summer at camp?" Dante questioned, laughing. "Brooke Lynn was always causing trouble." Cody grinned. "Some things never change." Carly and Tracy's voices rang across the Metro Court lobby as their fight became more heated. "This is about family," Carly said. "No," Tracy replied. "This is about control." Back at the Wellness Center, Kai dazzled Trina with his knowledge of current art. "You really know your stuff," Trina stated, her enthusiasm clear. Willow also confided in Harrison Chase, her ex-boyfriend, while in the hospital. His calm support soothed her worried heart. Desperate decisions and hidden agendas. Willow stood in the hospital chapel, hands clenched tightly, praying for clarity. Her decision was difficult to make, but she knew it was necessary. In another section of town, Jordan Ashford cornered Drew in the PCPD interrogation room. "Do you think you're untouchable?" Jordan requested. Think again. Lulu and Brooklyn fought at the Quartermain home over old and fresh grudges. You'll never change, Lulu alleged. And you'll never let go of the past, Brooklyn lashed back. Meanwhile, Tracy found herself in an unexpected situation, her typical confidence rattled. And Ava, ever the enigma, set out on a new mission, one that would change everything. The early morning sun seeped through General Hospital's windows, giving the sterile walls a faint golden tone. Lulu sat on the side of her hospital bed, her hands quivering as she grabbed the hem of the white blanket covering her legs. The quiet murmur of voices and the repetitive beeping of monitors merged into a background hum that she scarcely noticed. 4 years. 4 years had gone without her. She had no idea how to process it. Waking up from a coma was disconcerting enough, but what happened next destroyed her in ways she had not anticipated. Her son, Rocco, was no longer a baby. The toddler she kissed goodnight before her world went dark had grown into a tall, confident child who had forgotten the comfort of her hug. The pain of knowing she had missed his milestones, his first day of school, his first bike ride, gnawed at her incessantly. Then there was her father, Luke. The larger-than-life adventurer, who had always appeared invincible, had vanished. Tears welled up in her eyes every time she thought of him, but grief hadn't yet set in. It hung over her like a thunder cloud, threatening to break her if she allowed herself to feel its weight. Spencer, her feisty and passionate cousin, was no more. The news struck her like a physical blow, leaving her gasping for air. The cruelest twist of fate was Charlotte. Her young kid was still alive, she had seen her, but their reunion had been anything but happy. Lulu had hardly had a chance to embrace her daughter before Valentine, her former foe and now uncomfortable ally, took Charlotte back to assure her safety. Lulu was haunted by the recollection of Charlotte's tear-streaked face, which played over and over in her head like a broken record. A city in turmoil. Port Charles was a city used to turbulence, but Lulu's awakening had sent waves in its close-knit community. At the docks, stories circulated among the fishermen and dock workers about the Spencer girl who had escaped death. Doctors and nurses at General Hospital discussed her odds of recovery, both physically and emotionally. In the vast Quartermain mansion, Brooklyn paced the floor, chewing her nails as she considered what Lulu's return would imply for her relationship with Dante. Dante was torn. He had tried for years to move on, only to have the past resurface. Sam McCall's untimely death had already left him reeling, but the return of affections for Lulu added another layer of complexity. "I don't know what to say to her," Dante told his mother, Olivia, over coffee at the Metro Court. "How can I explain everything that has happened? How can I tell her about Sam?" Olivia put a soothing touch on her son's shoulder. "Start with the truth, Dante. Lulu has been through enough. She doesn't want any more lies or half-truths. The weight of loss." Laura, Lulu's mother, paid her a visit in her hospital room, where her tranquil presence had always provided comfort. Laura sat beside her, grabbing Lulu's hand in her own. "I wish I could take this pain away," Laura whispered quietly, her voice tinged with grief. "However, you don't have to confront it alone. We will get through this together." Lulu nodded, but the weight of her losses seemed oppressive. She couldn't get over the image of Rocco hesitantly holding her, or Charlotte's voice trembling as she said, "I love you, Mommy." The guilt was excruciating. How could she compensate for the years she hadn't lived? A fragile reunion. When Lulu first saw Rocco after waking up, it was as if she were staring at a stranger. His sandy blonde hair was nicely combed, and his eyes, which resembled Dante's, were mature for a youngster his age. "Hi, Mom," he replied hesitantly, his hands tucked inside his jeans pockets. Lulu's heart broke. "Hi, sweetheart," she said softly, her voice shaking. Rocco shuffled closer, but his motions were hesitant, which crushed her. She opened her arms, and after a little hesitation, he moved into her embrace. Tears flowed down Lulu's cheeks as she hugged him firmly, silently pledging to re-establish their link no matter how long it took. Danger looms. Amid her own troubles, another threat lurked in the shadows. Cyrus Renaud, the intriguing and deadly character with a sick obsession over Lulu, has been monitoring her rehabilitation. His presence cast a pall over her already fragile existence. In a dimly lit warehouse on the outskirts of town, Cyrus spoke with his right-hand guy. "Lulu Spencer is awake," Cyrus announced, his voice low and ominous. "She is the key to everything. Make sure she is protected, but only by me." The spirit of Sam. Lulu's reappearance brought back unpleasant memories for Dante, especially during Sam's dying moments. She had generously offered her life to save Lulu, donating her liver when no other option was left. Dante's remorse was tremendous, and it permeated every connection he had with Lulu. One evening, as the two sat in awkward stillness at the Metro Court, Lulu eventually broke the silence. "You don't have to tiptoe around me, Dante," she told him. "I know about Sam. And I understand what she done for me." Dante stared at her, his eyes filled with pain. "She did not simply do it for you. She did it for all of us, including Rocco and your family. But I can't stop feeling like I failed her." "You didn't fail her," Lulu stated firmly. "And you did not disappoint me. We've both lost a lot, Dante. Maybe we can help each other heal." Hope and healing. Lulu gradually regained her footing as the weeks became into months. With Laura's unflinching support and Rocco's gradual but steady warming toward her, she began to believe in the potential of a better future. However, the road ahead was still plagued with obstacles. Cyrus' preoccupation, unresolved conflict with Dante, and her own despair threatened to undermine her recovery. Throughout it all, Lulu clutched onto one truth: she was still alive. And as long as she was alive, she would fight for her children, her family, and herself. Early week spoilers: January 20th to 24th, Michael's exit, Sunny's health crisis, and Willow's next big decision. The General Hospital spoilers for the week of January 20th, 2025 are here. Fans should anticipate Michael Corinthos to leave next week. Willow Tate Corinthos is facing a difficult dilemma. In addition, Sonny Corinthos is dealing with his own health issue. Drew Kane Quartermain's Proposition GH spoilers for the week of January 20th state that Drew will need to contemplate migrating to Washington, D.C. Of course, Drew intends to take Scout Quartermain with him. That means Drew will have to be a full-time dad while also fulfilling his political duties. It has not been long since Sam McCall died. However, when Drew offers his concept to Alexis Davis, she will most likely urge him to go do DC on his own. GH spoilers: Willow Tate Corinthos' difficult decision. Drew tells Alexis in a preview clip that Willow could be just what Scout needs. So Drew appears to be attempting to recruit Willow as Scout's babysitter. That means Willow would have to relocate to DC as well. That way, Drew can have Willow to himself without anyone meddling. At least that is how it appears to me. Willow made a statement as she faced off against Sasha Gilmore Corbin. Willow stated that as long as she had her children, nothing else matters. Willow has had a lovely, comfortable life with Michael. While Drew may insist on a clean slate free of gossip, Willow must consider what is best for the children as a whole, not just herself. While there is family dispute, it seems cruel to separate the youngsters from their wider relatives, especially at this time. According to General Hospital teasers, Tracy Quartermain may face blowback next week. Despite Sonny and Carly Spencer's agreement with Willow, Tracy refused to honor it. Tracy dislikes losing or being wrong, therefore legal battles may ensue. Lulu Spencer agreed with Tracy, but she is also in the process of asking her for money. Lulu will eventually face Brooke Lynn Quartermain again. GH spoilers: week of January 20th, 2025 next week, Ava Jerome continues her efforts to resolve her financial problems. Cody Bell appears to be getting back into gambling, which could lead to more conflict with Selena Wu. Sonny also experiences chest pains. With Sonny's ongoing heart problems, he may collapse and wind up in the hospital. Until Cyrus Renaud is imprisoned, Sonny could be next. There is also Michael's departure. Michael appears to be considering a transfer to a burn unit. While this will aid in his recovery, it may also protect him from any future attempts on the lives of Sonny's family members. Which plot are you most looking forward to seeing next week? General Hospital fans are concerned about Nancy Lee Grau's mental health. General Hospital fans are concerned about actress Nancy Lee Grahns' mental health. That's because she doesn't seem to spend a day without saying anything bad about President-elect Donald Trump. General Hospital fans concerned about Nancy Lee Grahns' mental health. In fact, many people are fearful that Nancy will be consumed by negativity and worry as a result of Trump's election as President of the United States over the next 4 years. Nancy refused to abandon X, so she took to Threads to offer her most recent comments on Donald Trump and his new administration. She went on, when a country elects 3 sociopaths, Trump, his sugar daddy Elon and the Harvard hillbilly, to lead a nation, it would be illogical to expect any of them to have any empathy for anyone or anything that opposes them, including California. Nancy has taken a shot at Trump before, and it will not be the last. Needless to say, the internet is full with opinions about Nancy Lee Grahns and her social media activities. General Hospital news, is Nancy going too far with her opinions? Some have criticized Nancy Grahns for bringing negative attention to the show, stating that she should be fired. Another critic remarked, she has every right to tell the truth. But so does everyone else, which is what she can't seem to grasp. There was also the following comment, Nancy has always had strong opinions. At times, I resent her frequent comments. She really needs to look in the mirror. I stopped following her in 2020 during the COVID epidemic because I couldn't stand her rude comments. General Hospital spoilers for January 16th, Tracy verbally thrashes Carly. Cody is depressed because he lost all of his money during the PCU football game, while Aunt Stella cheers up Kai and Willow rides her high horse. The latest General Hospital spoilers video for Thursday, January 16th, 2025, shows Willow becoming all high and powerful while Brooke Lynn is concerned. Aunt Stella arrives in Port Charles and enters Kai's hospital room with toy animals and balloons, asking, "Are you looking for a specific sender?" Clearly, she is speculating that he hoped Trina delivered him those items. Hopefully, his football career is not jeopardized by his injuries. Willow, outraged, tells Nina, "You want me to bow down to Carly and Sonny? Are you serious?" She has the audacity to get upset over Carly and Sonny while denying them access to their baby in his hour of need? Drew's filthy behavior is most likely rubbing off on her. Gio is at the Quartermain stable and must have asked Cody how he was feeling because the cowboy replied, "Trust me, dude, you don't want to know." He's most likely bummed because he lost the $50,000 Drew gave him on the PCU football game. Brooke Lynn says, "Chase, I wish I had a fraction of your optimism." They're in the hospital, so she's probably worried about Michael. Or is she referring to her and Chase's attempt to become pregnant? In any case, there is widespread concern in Port Charles for a variety of reasons. Tracy yells at Carly, "That woman's life was never the same since you set foot in this town." She's most likely referring to Monica, as Tracy and Jason believe an ailing Monica needs Willow and Michael's children close by right now. What a mess this Michael thing has turned into. Head writers of General Hospital tease a volatile and sexy Port Charles, as well as the value of even ludicrous ideas. One day, Holly breaks up Sasha and Cody by disclosing that they are cousins, and the next, Brooke Lynn admits out of nowhere that she put up a baby for adoption not long ago, and he has grown up to become Gio. Yes, there is almost no way to predict what you will see when you watch General Hospital, and that is by purpose. Head writers Michelle Corta and Chris Van Etten told TV Insider that the soap they want to portray is volatile and sexy. Volatile, will buy, did anyone have Cyrus as a twisted mercy murderer on their 2024-25 bingo list? But, sexy? I'm not sure about that one, especially since Willow and Drew appear to be the only ones getting it on. In other parts of the Q&A, the scribes talk about how important it is to keep a writer's room where no notion is too ridiculous. We keep the atmosphere safe for voicing any idea, even the ludicrous ones, they tell me. Sometimes when we rein it in, the ludicrous idea is the most exciting one. When the tag team disagrees, they discuss it until they reach an agreement that works for the characters. They never feel handled by each other, they say. How do you think the pair is doing? Which 2 adjectives would you use to describe General Hospital? The acrid fragrance of burnt wood and smoke lingered in the crisp Port Charles air, as the wreckage of Sonny Corinthos' apartment smoldered in the early light of dawn. Firefighters had extinguished the blaze hours before, but the emotional devastation wrought by the explosion was barely beginning. Sonny stood in the burnt remnants of his once pristine refuge, his gaze combing the devastation for answers. His heart wrenched with the realization that his family's safety, something he had battled so hard for, had been jeopardized. The explosion was not a random act, it was a deliberate blow, and Sonny knew it was merely the start. A father's agony. In a sterile hospital room across town, Michael Corinthos lay motionless, surrounded by the constant buzz of machinery that kept him alive. His injuries from the explosion had left him in critical condition, and Sonny felt the weight of his son's vulnerability crushing against his chest. Carly, standing by Michael's bedside, gave Sonny a look of barely contained rage. "This is on you," she growled. "You have put this family through enough." And now Michael, her voice trembled, and tears streamed down her cheek. Sonny stayed mute. There was no point arguing. Carly's words echoed the remorse he had felt since he watched Michael being dragged from the wreckage. Custody chaos. Amid the chaos, Ava Jerome spotted a glimpse of opportunity. For years, she and Sonny had been in a bitter custody battle for their daughter, Avery Corinthos Jerome. Ava had lost the upper hand after being charged in the terrible Metro Court pool incident that killed baby Irene Ashford, a charge she was eventually cleared of, but not before her image was shattered. With Sonny's world falling and his penthouse turned to ashes, Ava's mind raced with alternatives. She had always fought tooth and nail for her daughter, and this would be no exception. The only impediment was finance. Her painful divorce from Nicholas Cassadine had left her without the immense fortune she formerly possessed. But Ava was not someone to give up quickly. She poured herself a glass of wine and picked up her phone, dialing Rick Lansing's number. If anyone could take advantage of Sonny's situation, it was Rick. Rick Lansing's strategy. Rick Lansing was sitting in his modest downtown office, poring over legal pleadings, when his phone rang. He smirked as he read Ava's name and responded. "Ava. What do I attribute the joy to?" "I need your help," Ava replied calmly yet urgently. "Sonny's penthouse was targeted last night. An explosion. Michael is in the hospital, and Avery was there. It's time to review custody." Rick sat back in his chair and twirled a pen between his fingers. "Interesting timing, isn't it?" he mused. "So you believe we're arguing that Avery's living condition is unsafe?" "Exactly," Ava responded. "You've always had a way of exposing Sonny's flaws. This is a fantastic opportunity." Rick chuckled. "Consider it finished. I'll write a petition first thing tomorrow. By the end, Sonny will have no idea what hit him." The courtroom battle. Days later, the courtroom was full. Ava, dressed in a sleek black dress, sat next to Rick with confidence. Across the aisle, Sonny sat with his formidable attorney, Diane Miller, who appeared prepared to demolish any argument Rick gave. The judge entered, and the proceedings began. Rick wasted no time in portraying Sonny as a hazardous parent whose lifestyle put Avery at continual peril. "Your Honor, the explosion at Mr. Corinthos' penthouse is just one example of the numerous threats to his family. Avery deserves a safe and stable environment, which Mr. Corinthos cannot give." Diane responded with equal zeal, underlining Ava's prior transgressions and Sonny's dedication to protecting his children. However, as the hours passed, the room became increasingly tense. A mother's desperation. After the session concluded, Ava approached Sonny outside the courthouse. "You don't have to fight me about this," she replied in a softer tone than usual. "I am not trying to hurt you, Sonny. I just want the best for Avery." Sonny looked at her, his expression opaque. "Avery's greatest option is to stay with her father. You already know that, Ava." And deep inside, she agrees. Ava paused, shame flitting across her features. But before she could react, Rick came by her side, rekindling her determination. Michael's struggle. Meanwhile, in General Hospital, Michael's condition remained critical. Willow sat by his bedside, hands holding his, tears streaming down her cheeks. She had been a source of strength for their family, but even she was beginning to fracture under the strain. "He's a fighter," Carly reassured Willow, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Just like his father." Willow nodded, although her heart was heavy. "But how much longer can he take, Carly? How much more can we take?" A dangerous game. As Sonny battled with the aftermath of the custody fight and Michael's deteriorating health, his adversaries were already planning their next move. The explosion had been a warning, a sign that his dominion was under attack. In a poorly lit warehouse on the outskirts of town, a dark figure addressed a group of guys. "Sonny Corinthos is vulnerable. Now is the time to strike." Back in his office, Sonny went over surveillance footage with Brick, his trusty tech specialist. "Find out who did this," Sonny instructed. "And make sure they never get the chance to do it again." Uncertain futures. As the days passed into weeks, the destiny of Sonny's family hung in the balance. The judge's judgment in the custody issue was still pending, and Michael's recovery was questionable. For Ava, the fight for Avery was about atonement, not just custody. Sonny wanted to prove that, despite his weaknesses, he was still a parent who would go to any length for his children. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.